I actually didn't want to say anything on my YouTube channel about the entire Jacksfilms versus SSSniperwolf story, which is currently out there and trending. I was closely following it, but it felt as if enough was said by other creators, and doing another commentary on this would feel like I am just jumping on that trend. But here we are. And why? Because YouTube gave a statement to the ongoing controversy, and this statement is not good for any of us creators. A quick summary of what had happened. If you prefer, feel free to skip the summary using the chapters below. SSSniperwolf does the reaction content on TikToks. She does it in a way where she is not adding much value, sometimes just reading the captions or even cutting out the punchline to saying it herself to pretend she would have come up with it. But probably the worst is to actually not crediting creators you take the content from to react to. Now comes in Jacksfilms, trying to point out these issues with her content in a way of making a parody and playing bingo games with the community, predicting what SSSniperwolf is going to say or do next. But one of the most important aspects, he and his community is doing research to find the original creator of the TikToks to credit them. While his content is sometimes funny to watch, I do understand how a creator could get upset about it. Seriously, I would probably be slightly upset and worried if someone would criticize or parody my content to that extent. But here is the difference. It would also make me think if I'm doing something wrong. How did this whole situation escalate? SSSniperwolf turned up at Jacksfilms' house, showing it on Instagram to her fans and requesting him to come out to talk like adults. I don't have to say that this situation is horrible and dangerous. YouTube has been silent about this for a week and then stated SSSniperwolf will be receiving a temporary demonetization for her actions. In no way she is getting banned or has to face other consequences, at least from what we know, stating the behavior of both sides is not what they want on the platform. At this point, the situation gets very odd and potentially problematic for us creators. It reminds me of parents telling the fighting kids to both stop while one of them happily burns down the kitchen, but in the end, the parents are blaming both for destroying the apartment. But why is this problematic for us creators? A temporary demonetization, and yes, we don't know how long temporary means, is a very mild punishment for a creator of almost 35 million subscribers on YouTube. It feels like telling someone to take a vacation and come back later after everything has settled. Also pointing out the wording of both sides can be interpreted as telling Jacksfilms to stop creating his parody, which is basically forbidding him to run one of his channels. Looking deeper into it, it worries me that SSSniperwolf can basically keep on doing what she is doing at a later point, and Jacksfilms is being told to stop, which isn't really a ban of his content, but still. Well, I hope you get the point. After Jacksfilms being doxxed, it feels very much like there is some victim blaming going on right now. It is not new that a platform is taking sides with their biggest creators. However, what SSSniperwolf did was extremely dangerous, doxing someone to millions of people, and you have no clue what ideas someone else might have. Things like these already happened in Germany a couple of times with a horrible outcome, and problems like swatting, for example, is not a new thing in social media. If you as a content creator have a job, you might face consequences for being in public, depending on which area you work in. You might want to keep your privacy when being on the internet. You want to separate private and public things usually. The decision to not remove Sniperwolf from the platform was probably a management decision, because we are talking about a lot of revenue for YouTube. However, if they cannot remove her from the platform for whatever reason, at least Jacksfilms should not have gotten an indirect punishment for his content, tweets or whatever. The content might not be everyone's thing, but hey, this video right now will probably gain plenty of dislikes too. In the end, the situation sadly shows us that to some extent you can do whatever you want as long as you are valuable for the platform. If you are smaller or not that relevant, you might face bigger consequences. Community guidelines or a code of conduct exist for a reason, and I wish that platforms would treat all content creators equally. But the reality is, it is all about the cash. There's some common sense among creators how you usually should behave, and not everyone is sticking to it. Respect someone's content. Don't steal, credit other people's work when using it under the fair use policy. Respect someone's privacy. If you happen to get hold of some private information, you keep these to yourself and do not share it for the likes and views. Just to name a few. In the end, I don't think YouTube will take any further actions. I could imagine for them the situation is dealt with and it is over. They will just hope for the situation to settle and become forgotten. forgotten. In the meantime, I want to wish Jacksfilms and his family all the best. Take care of yourself, and I just hope you can stay at the place you call home. And of course, stay safe. So yeah, drop a comment, like this video, subscribe, you know, that usual stuff. It honestly feels a little weird asking for that with such a serious topic going on, but take care everyone. Thanks for watching.